Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Game FourCast, your new episode of your weekly podcast where we get together and we chat about all the new news stories for the week and talk about what we've been playing. My name is Josh. I go by BottlerWorks, and I'm here with Steve, Quikwix.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm here, and it's an exciting week.
And Sammeh.
Hello, I'm Sam, and I'm dead Sam this week.
Dead tired Sam today. And we're here with Will Olivemeister. Oh no, wait, he's not here this week. Will,
He's been kidnapped.
yeah, he's been kidnapped. We've just got the ransom note in. It's too much money to pay, so we're just not going to worry about that. No, he's not here this week. He's got some family stuff going on, so it's just us three today chatting this week about all the stuff we've been up to. How are you two? How are you both doing?
I am doing very well. It's been a interesting week for news, and my week has been consumed by a particular game.
Oh, I wonder what that could be.
No wonder.
Well, I was alright until the weekend started, and then work happened, and now I'm here.
It's supposed to be the other way around. You're supposed to be tired through the week, and then the
It's
weekend
not
happens,
for me.
and then you're good.
But we live, we move on.
We move on. We endure. Have you both been playing anything decent this week besides the obvious one? Right, we'll get to that. But
I haven't touched the obvious one.
so
uh,
yeah, were you like, are you going to play Elden Ring, or are you just passing on it?
I will play it. I will play it, and I want to play it, but I'm not like in a rush, and I don't watch like obviously a lot of content creators are playing it, right?
Yeah,
But I don't, because I'm not that interested in it. I'm not taking anything in, so I'm also not being spoiled because of it.
I get what you mean. It's that like with games like that, you can almost, if you don't pay too much attention, a lot of it kind of blends together.
Yeah,
And you can't really get spoiled because you just vaguely remember a
yeah.
darker area and you vaguely remember a monster maybe.
The people that I normally watch that are playing it, I'm like, right, I just won't watch them for a couple of days.
Yeah,
But also, they're like those levels of content creators are very careful to not be spoilerish, right?
yeah,
So it's very easy for me. But I will play it. I will get round to it. I am
Yeah.
kind of excited for it. It's just for me, the game I've been playing that I've been waiting for, as I said last week, is Atelier Sophie 2.
I saw you playing that not even like 5
It's
minutes ago.
yeah, it's so because of work. Today is literally the only day I've been able to like really sink my teeth into it,
Yeah,
and it's pretty much I woke up and I've played this game all day,
yeah,
and I love it. It's great.
it's so anime. It's so
It
anime.
is, but
Can you run us through the gameplay loop? Like what?
Yeah, what is it?
this game?
Okay, so
It's a
like,
dating sim.
standard. No, there's no dating sim. There are friendship levels. But there's no
Oh,
dating
whatever.
sim.
There are friendship levels. Okay.
But okay, so I'd almost say like standard JRPG. If you think along that lines, you can kind of almost imagine the kind
Yeah.
of story and monsters you're gonna fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard. It's standard turn-based combat. Like they have their nuances and things added in, but generally it's I take a turn and it's the next fastest person and the next fastest person, etc., etc.
Okay, yeah.
The big thing with the game is I mean, it's about being an alchemist. So you get like party members that are really strong, and,
Yeah.
like bodyguards and stuff, but you yourself aren't.
Okay.
But your whole
okay.
thing is you make items, so you can't go out to to the shop and buy some potions. You have to go and gather resources, and then you make healing items yourself. You make damaging items yourself, and that's
Is it-
where like the dynamic.
How does
happens.
how does that work? Is there like mini
Yeah,
games and
it's-
stuff tied to it, or is it just like a
Yeah,
crafting
so
screen?
yeah.
It it's good in the way they do it, they change it every single game. So it's never like, oh, if you've played one, you now know how the system works.
Yeah.
The way I compared it to was in Final Fantasy VII, you know, you have the materia system for like equipping your dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Final Fantasy VIII, you have the junction system, which is completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like that. Every game they swap it up, so it's like if you look at it from the outside, you're like, oh, it looks the same, but the second you actually play it, you're like, Jesus Christ, they've not kept anything the same.
So this one is number 2, right? But you said
This
there
is
are
the
multiple
second
games.
Sophie game, yes.
Oh, okay, how many other games are there? Like,
There's
is
like,
there,
so yeah, I got really confused, right? There's another game series that's anime called Atelier, right? And it's not Atelier Sophie.
So the game series is called Atelier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sophie is like... So Atelier is like Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sophie is like Sword, from Sword and Shield, for example.
Okay.
Like there's the series, and then there's like the sub-series within. Because when they used to release them, they used to do multiples at a time. They used to do them in like groups of 3.
Yeah.
So there'd be like, I think it was Toturi, Meruru, and Verona. And it was like 3 different games, but they came out at the same time, and it was kind of like they're all different, but the systems were similar within because it was the same like generation. If you were to compare it to Pokemon, for example.
Okay.
It really
The
threw me
most
off. I
popular
remember
one-
Atelier Riser 2 coming out.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see that.
And then
Atelier
you were
Riser.
you were talking about all this series, and I went to look it up, and I was like, wait, are these different games? Are these the same games? And in my mind, I was like, it must be the same game, right? Because they're both anime as fuck.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same series, but basically the character's name denotes what like generation you're in, I guess.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Atelier Riser is probably the most well-known one.
That's
that
the one.
got,
That's
like,
the one I know about. Yeah.
crazy good reviews and really big reception, which is good because it was a great game.
Yeah. This art is great as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's just a really nice dynamic of having, you know, your standard JRPG stuff, which I could consume that stuff for hours on end.
Yeah.
And then you go off to this mini game where you're crafting your own gear, your own like adventure equipment, you know, your potions, all of this, and it's like this. It feels that like self-sufficient, like efficiency thing that I used to try and get out of RuneScape, but never really could as well.
Yeah. What do you mean by it in terms of RuneScape? Would you?
So when I played RuneScape, I liked the idea of an Iron Man because I wanted to get everything myself. I wanted to be completely self-sufficient. But RuneScape is just on such a big scale that whenever you tried to do something, you always just felt defeated because it took too long to do anything.
Yeah, it's you see.
Whereas in this game, it's very easy. I go out, I hit a bush once, I get some leaves, I then go and fight a monster, and like get some stuff, and then it's like whack those 2 together, and now I've got a healing potion. Like,
well, you don't like mining a single rock in RuneScape for 50 hours? What's wrong with you?
So what you're saying is RuneScape needs to become anime to be better, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a really like I would have to describe it as like a casual experience.
Yeah.
Like you could play through this game not knowing anything, and if you have any shred of like experience with JRPGs, you'll have no issues. It's not there.
Yeah.
Like it has difficulty settings, but it's not there to slap you to the ground, you know. But then once you finish the game, like every good JRPG, it has the super bosses.
Oh yeah.
Which are you need to get the best equipment you can make. You need to be max level, and then you have a fighting chance.
Yeah. I like the idea of the super bosses where it's always like, okay, you finished the game. All right, now screw you. Here's a boss that'll like your maxed out party at the end of the game. They one hit you anyway. I love it.
So it still has that, and that like for me, there's just not that many good core JRPGs that just come out nowadays.
I think games just generally take a lot longer to make, right? So it's just generally a lot less come out.
This style of game,
Yeah.
Because like when you're like that, where the combat isn't the driving factor, you have to make up for it with the visuals, the story, and the
Yeah.
level design and everything, right?
I feel
So
like
no, I'm
yeah,
loving it.
there was a period of time I feel like during, I can't remember what generation it is, but you know, like PS2, Xbox, GameCube, where
Yes.
like an anime JRPG came out like every 2 weeks. And
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the pinnacle.
yeah, and it just felt like if you liked these types of games, they were relentless. They were coming out so often, and now, what is there now? I guess there's this series. You got the Tales of
Atlas is still
games.
doing some.
Atlas are, but again, they do one what every 2-3 years.
Yeah, Persona comes out pretty much like every 10 years.
Yeah, and then
Um,
you get a bit of
SMT
Mega
games
10.
are like
Yeah,
what, 5 years? Like,
Hmm.
but that's the thing. Every time one comes out, I am so hyped because I know the quality
yeah.
is gonna be through the roof.
What?
Dragon Quest as well, yeah, right?
But yeah, but
Dragon
again, it's
Quest
like
does
Dragon
well.
Quest is they're so far and few between.
That's because they're now pumping out 4 or 5 mobile games per year.
But like,
That's where the money is.
but like I said, I feel like on the GameCube era and the PS2 era, every other week it would be not you know like a random JRPG with the most obscure name ever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
There was too many. You wouldn't been able to finish them all.
like
And they were of decent quality as well back then.
yeah, it's like what's coming out this week? Oh, it's Fantasy Blast Regalia 3 or something. It's a JRPG that lasts 200 hours on on PS2, and it's just you just grind.
And then I feel like the genre just kind of died the second we hit like PS3 era onwards.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, you had what like Blue Dragon and a few other like odd.
Oh, there will have been some killer JRPGs throughout the lifespan,
Yeah,
but it'll be single digits, maybe double digits over the entire lifespan of
yeah.
the 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like a lot of these
True,
games
true.
have gone indie now as well. I always feel like I look through like Steam up and coming and stuff, and you get lots of
Yeah.
like, like little RPGs and things
I
with
think-
anime art styles.
Yeah, I think like the core like RPG experience is a very like nostalgia thing at the moment.
Yeah,
If you go onto Steam, you will find a billion like 8-bit pixel art
Yeah.
RPGs, and like more power to them. I can't play that graphic style anymore, unfortunately.
you over it.
Like unless I have the most nostalgia. Like I could go back and play FF1, for example.
yeah,
But that's because I played that game and completed it more times than I can count. I'm not like the graphics still annoy me and I still find it jarring.
Yeah.
But I have such a love for the game that I can go past it.
yeah,
But
See,
I couldn't do that for a new game.
I have to agree. I think that a lot of indie games come out like with like that retro
Pixel art.
style
Yeah.
pixel art,
yeah,
and sometimes it can look really good. Like I think Owlboy came out and it looked fantastic, but sometimes it just looks like not no effort has been put into it. And I understand that sometimes it would be taste, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, come on, it could be good if it had like a little bit of more
It's
graphics,
like, yeah, I think of Stardew Valley as one
Yeah.
which is like,
Perfect.
pixel art game, but that game is so much charm.
all good pixel art
Know what I
is
mean?
slowly becoming like a lost art, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Well,
I'm not saying pixel art in general is becoming a lost art because you can see it everywhere, but really good pixel art.
The type where you look at it and go, wow, those are
Yeah.
good graphics, despite the fact that you're talking about 16 pixels on a
Yeah.
screen.
Because I feel like lots of games in particular, especially like indie games and stuff, if you need assets for your own game or something, you can go buy them really quickly, and they're always like 3D assets.
Yeah.
Whereas, like really good pixel art is incredibly hard to make.
Yeah, I remember when I was looking into it during like college and stuff, like there was so much support for if you wanted to make a 3D game
Yeah,
as compared to making a 2D game.
yeah.
Like
Or the
if
most,
you want to make
yeah.
2D, you were virtually on your own.
or the most common misconception I feel about like pixel art in general is that because it's simpler. It's like easier to create.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
it's actually the exact opposite. Because it's simpler, it's harder. Like
Yeah.
less colors, less resolution to work with.
Yeah,
It's hard. You have to focus what you're trying to make into a smaller area. It's just hard. I've tried it loads of times and it's insanely hard.
And for the longest time, I thought like, oh, pixel art has been like mastered. But then like when Octopath Traveler came out, and it was like they doing like the 3D, 2D. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's still room for pixel art to like be improved because it's a shame that like with Pokemon for example, it's a shame I don't mind the 2D.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a shame that everything feels like they have to be forced into 3D. When I'm like, no, you can go back to pixel art, and it's probably be like you can probably make like a good Final Fantasy
Yeah.
with pixel art these days.
You could 100% do a Final Fantasy or pixel art, and people would still absolutely love it. You could, I think, there's things like Bravely Default and stuff, where it's like if you want a more traditional Final Fantasy, you've got games like Bravely Default that they're making instead. But it's like, if they're doing smaller stuff like that, I'd rather they did pixel art as opposed to like chibi 3D models and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Even then, like when they did World of Final Fantasy, which was that kind of anime chibi style,
Yeah.
because Final Fantasy for the longest time had been like trying to almost be photorealistic, right?
Yeah.
It'd be as clear and crisp to reality as possible. It was almost a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Whereas now I look back and I'm like, oh, there's a few too many of them around right now.
Oh, World of Final Fantasy is such a freaky looking game.
Yeah,
I
a
love it to bits,
fantastic game though.
It's a great game. It just
Absolutely fantastic.
I think I hate the way it looks.
For me, the one criticism I have of that game is some of the side characters have verbal tics, and they get old very quickly.
Oh, you're talking about the little fairy thing, aren't you?
The little cat.
Oh,
white
loved
cat.
it. No, I loved every second of
I
it.
hated it.
I can't even remember what it did. It's that thing, right?
Yes, I can't remember the
For anyone
tick
watching.
itself.
Yeah.
The word "the," I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
It would fit the word "the" into just midway sentences, mid words.
It's because you said how it had like a tick, and I can't remember what it is. But I knew it was that character because I remember there was something fucky with it.
Because it's a cute character, but it's like shut up, please.
I finished that game and can't tell you a single thing about the story because I just can't remember.
I can remember bits, but yeah, this is what I mean. Like, I can definitely say though, I finished that game because there have been a lot of games that have come out where I just haven't finished them.
Yeah.
But no. Anyway, back on track. Atelier Sophie 2, solid game. If you like anime or just a nice little casual JRPG experience, this game's great. Beautiful. It's colourful.
Yeah. Are you in? How far in are you? Because you've been working and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think I've managed to get like 6 hours in today, which puts me up to probably about 8 grand total.
Yeah. So you're so JRPG. You're still in the tutorial.
Oh yeah, I'm still getting like the one thing this game does brilliantly, in my opinion, after playing so many games at the moment, is it gives me a tutorial on stuff.
Yeah.
About once every half an hour, rather than just giving it to everything all at once.
Yeah. That's
like
good.
I've just got a new gathering tool, and it's like, it says, would you like a tutorial? You can just say no.
Yeah.
That's one of the best.
Always
things.
Appreciated.
And then it's like it'll just be like two lines of text. Be like, look, this is what you do. In a picture, it'll bring up like a graphic as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how you use this tool. This is this in combat mechanic. But yeah, I'm still getting tutorial stuff 8 hours in. But I think that's half because I'm still early days, and half because they're spreading it out over the start, rather than just being like, right, this is a mechanic, next battle, here's another mechanic, here's another mechanic. So
is this on console? I kind of want to play it.
I imagine it must be on console.
It's normally was always a PlayStation. Atelier was always a PlayStation exclusive. I think around the PS4 era is when they started.
This looks like it's on PS4.
Coming to PC.
If it has a box copy, I could rent this, I reckon. I could have fun with this.
It's probably a box copy.
PlayStation says sexual content and violence.
I mean, it's...
Look, I'm not saying it's. I mean, it's PG-12. There's no actual like risk.
Sammeh-chan, your pantsuit is showing.
That's the one thing about anime is if it's like
It's
this like
very
this is an
anime.
all-female,
Yeah.
If
I know
this is an all-female cast, you know it's gonna be some fan service.
There's
which you
one
can always
dude in the
appreciate.
party so far that I've got compared to the
Okay.
3 ladies, all with very large chests.
I only see 4 girls on the box cover.
I'm shocked there's a dude.
There's always one dude.
Is the dude you in this harem? Like MC? No.
No, the dude is never MC. I think every Atelier game has always been female protagonist.
Okay, sounds cool though. I like the idea of the game. I might actually look more into it. You've intrigued me.
No, it's great. To the point where if people like this, I would heavily recommend Atelier Rosa, which was almost like a critically acclaimed Atelier game.
Yeah.
So
That'll probably be on some like good discount now as well, right? It's been a couple of years.
That's been out a while.
I feel like
it's had a sequel.
yeah, a lot of niche JRPGs after a while just end up tanking in price.
Yeah,
Or
I can see...
skyrocketing, depending on
Yeah.
what system they're on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Laura plays a bunch of visual novels. Laura being my partner, and a lot of times she goes to like check them out, and it's like, oh, this visual novel that she wants to check out has been out for like 5 years. What's its price? Oh, it's still 40 quid. Like
Yeah, I
untouched.
remember trading in to CEX. I had I think it was Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner
Yeah.
or something similar. And I was like, I wonder how much I can get for this, and I traded it in for £45.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then how much is that worth now?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, if I had that now,
Yeah.
like they clearly knew
Yeah.
to be offering that much for it.
Yeah. My one of that as a child was I had a copy of Chibi Robo on GameCube.
Oh, that's a hard one to find. Yeah.
And I traded that in. And I think I got like 20 quid for it at the time. I was like, I don't know, I was like 12 or something. And I think if you go on, like, I need to have a look. eBay, Chibi Robo. It's not going to be good. It's really not going to be good. Chibi Robo on GameCube, it's a lot of money. 250 quid.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sad one. 330, 380. Why is it going up? That's the one that got away from me because it's a good game as well.
Yeah.
But have you played anything else this week, Sam?
I can barely remember anything before the past 2 days.
I'm trying to keep you talking before you fall asleep.
No, I'll be fine. What was I playing up to? Oh, I played a bit more Warhammer 3. I'm still chugging along with that.
Yeah.
I've definitely hit like peak like boredom with it though. Like
really?
I'm playing it to try and finish it, not playing it because I want to play it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Oh, I know what I played this week. I went and re-picked up Dungeon Defenders
I
because I
don't know what that is.
have been craving just a tower defense game again. So I was playing my roguelike ones, and then I was like, man, Dungeon Defenders 1 was so good.
I
So
know
went
what
back
this
and played
is.
it.
I've seen this. This is old. This is
old. And this is a game where Dungeon Defenders, it has Dungeon Defenders 1,
yeah.
Dungeon Defenders 2, and Dungeon Defenders like Reawakened or something.
Yeah. So what are you playing?
And I'm playing Dungeon Defenders 1 because it's the far superior game.
Okay.
Because Dungeon Defenders 2 come out, right? And what happened is they fleshed out all of the like tower defense and level stuff.
Yeah.
Like enemies running down lanes. But because of that, like Dungeon Defenders 1 is just utter chaos.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's you're always on your toes, and it was always so much fun because you never knew what was going to happen.
Right.
But it's just a tower defense game but also you are a character that has a weapon, so it's a third-person shooter essentially, as well as being a tower defense game.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember playing this back when I was at university,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
was a
This
good
is an
decade
old
ago at
game.
this point. Yeah,
And it's like you level up, and then you put your points into leveling up your character or leveling up your defenses.
yeah,
And so if you're like a full defenses build, you put down your trap or your barricade, and that thing gets bonuses based on your talent points. Or
yeah.
you just sack it all off and go, I am man with sword. I slay my own enemies. And then you get in there and swing.
Did this have any metagame, like in between rounds? You know, like in between matches? I can't remember, where it's like you level up characters and then go back in.
So it had tons of different levels. In between waves,
Yeah,
was when like all of your EXP actually accumulated, and if you leveled up, you could level up.
right.
And then once you've finished a certain amount of waves, that map would be completed, and you move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And it also had bosses in as well, which just jump in and fuck you up. That's just a really. I'm pretty sure you could pick this game up for pennies nowadays. But,
Probably, yeah.
I'm captivated by this guy that looks kind of like me.
the monk is the character I'm playing at the moment.
He looks a little bit too much like me. I don't. It's kind of scary.
But yeah, no, I think I installed that, played it for like 7 hours on like Wednesday or something, or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just utterly just got re-lost in the game again.
It's always good when you jump
And
into something
then-
old and get really into it.
Yeah, literally
you've given up
completed the
on-
campaign.
So
and
you
then
gave up on the
completed
other
it
two?
100%. So Dungeon Defenders 2.
No,
right?
no, the two ones that you were playing last week.
What the issue with the roguelikes are,
Mhm.
after a while the roguelike thing kind of falls off, right?
Yeah.
And then I find myself just wanting a tower defense game to sink my teeth into, but
Yeah.
then the roguelike thing keeps kicking in and being like, well, it's been an hour, we're finished, you've got to start again. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want to keep going.
You want a bit
So-
more, something a bit more longer lasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you mean,
So
though.
it's not that I've completely dropped them. It's just I was craving something different, and I remembered this and went, yeah, let's give it a go. I think I played this game like 15, 20 hours this week.
Oh, Jesus.
Because well, it's like all of my time off was front loaded this week.
Yeah, everything good came out at the arse end, and you've been
I was
busy.
there just like 25th. Everything comes out, and I'm like, that's when my big shift starts.
Yeah, that was similar to me this week, where a lot of stuff came out end of the week, and it's like, well, what do I
Yeah.
play now? There is
Yeah.
not a lot to play.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I suppose that's your stuff all wrapped up.
Yeah,
Then.
I think that's the moment. Everything I've played. Still waiting for another Vampire Survivors update. I'm still
Yeah, they were
100%
weekly.
on all of
They
them.
were weekly for a while, weren't they? And there's no new
I
one this
think
week.
They dropped like 2 in 1 week, so now we're chilling a bit,
That's
waiting for the next one.
it's too late. They've gotten me used to weekly updates, so now
How
I'm
dare
horrifically
they.
impatient.
No, I
What-
think you're just horrifically impatient.
I think yeah,
I don't think that's them.
that's probably true. What have you
Oh,
played
dear.
this week, Steve? Besides again the obvious.
It's basically been Elden Ring. I played a little bit more Dark Souls, but it's basically Elden
I'm going to
Ring.
preface this entire conversation with, for anyone listening, we're not about to start just spoiling Elden Ring.
Yeah, even mechanics I won't go too deep into other than
and
multiplayer.
this is going to be so surface, because even I'm not that far in it, to be honest. I've played a little bit this week as well, so I'll combine my part with your part here. Let's talk a little bit about Elden Ring.
Yeah.
We'll save the big one for next week. When everyone can
when
get,
people have played it.
yeah, will be back, and we'll have more to talk about with Elden Ring. Let's get an image.
But for me, I would just say I've been really enjoying it. It's like it combined like the parts about Dark Souls that I liked.
Yeah,
It's like tenfold better. Like, and also it combines like everyone knows it's open world, so
yeah,
like aspects of that. It's like really great. I will say when I first loaded in, I could not play this because it was the FPS had issue. Like there was
Yeah.
the FPS tanked. It looked like it was like I was like moving through treacle almost. I
Oh,
found a
really?
workaround. Yeah, it was. I was like worried. Like I was like, oh, am I not going to be able to play this? And I was like, no, I've turned it down to the lower settings and it's still playing up. That's obviously on their end. I did find a workaround by going into like the graphic settings of Windows, but into Elden Ring, and then setting it to high performance.
Yeah.
And now it runs smooth, other than stutters, which are a common problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of people having performance issues.
There are still
with
people having
Elden Ring.
performance issues with this. There are still people
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
can't play it. People I've seen, again, a lot of it's anecdotal, but people saying like, yeah, I have a high-end Ryzen CPU and like a 3090, and I can't run this game to a level that I should be able to.
Well, yeah, hopefully they will fix some of these issues. But yeah, especially the stutters, because like especially in this game where it's like you can basically die after one or two hits. Having
Yeah.
that like panic moment of, oh god, it stuttered for a second, am I gonna die?
Yeah.
Is not super fun. It's not got me killed yet, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then the other thing that kind of disappoints me is it's I haven't played the multiplayer from the Dark Souls games, but it seems like it's the same-ish.
I think so. Yeah, it's more or less,
and
like Dark Souls. You can summon help.
Yeah.
You can get invaded. You can invade other people.
And it's kind of a pain where it's like it's meant to be open world, but every single time you go to a new area, it's like you've got to like desummon the person. That person's then got to get to that area, go inside, then
Yeah.
you have to summon them again. I just wish it could just be like, my friends are here, let's go.
That feels like an engine limitation, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, like where they make, because I'm assuming this is built on top of whatever engine they've been making all the other games for, and then suddenly you start making things a bit different, and it's like, no, we can't do that. Like when they made Fallout 76 with the like Fallout 4 engine, and there was a whole bunch of weird jank and stuff just because it was, a single player RPG engine now being used for a multiplayer game. It reminds me of that. I've been playing on PS5.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's been like performance-wise, it's been fine.
Hasn't there been people saying that the console performance is poor in some cases?
If it's in a certain area, it's not in an area that I've seen yet. But I'm not gonna sit here and say it's perfect because it's definitely not a locked 60.
Yeah.
It like targets 60, and you can tell it hovers around like somewhere between 45 to 50. I'm playing on
Not awful.
No, it's fine. It's there's two modes. There's like performance and fidelity, and it just like defaults to the high frame rate one, which is really weird because most games default to the one that makes it look better.
To the pretty, yeah, they do.
It's really backwards. I think my main takeaway so far, again not spoiling anything, is because the reviews were insane, right?
Yeah, they got mostly like tens, and
Yeah,
if not very close.
it's sitting at like 96 average, I think, out of 100, and then that's out of like 100 plus reviews.
Yeah, that's like the highest reviewed game ever, right?
It's not quite there. It's lost. It was at one point, but it's fallen a bit since then. Not by much. It's still up there. It's still like within top 5. But I just feel like I'm not sure if I'm just like a little bit jaded because I've played so many of these games. But it was heralded as like the second coming of Christ, and I'm just like, yeah, it's Dark Souls in an open world.
Apparently they've done the open world well though.
They have done. They've done it very well. This always happens when games review so insanely high, because when games review so insanely high, my expectations go through the roof, and I understand this is my own fault because I don't set my expectations properly. But it's just the same thing happened when Mario Odyssey came out, and I was like, okay, new Mario game on the Switch, this will be good. And then there was like 100 plus reviews of 10 out of 10s being like, this is the best fucking game ever. And then I'm like, oh shit, and then I play it, I'm like, yeah, it's a really good Mario game.
It's a really good Mario. I think though, yeah, with like Dark Souls games, people want like Souls-like games, I should say. Sorry, people want more of the same, but just slightly improved.
Yeah,
Like they're not reinventing the wheel here. It's like where I've only played like a little bit of Dark Souls 1, I'm like really enjoying myself in this game. I'm like, oh, I can see myself sinking
yeah.
tons of hours into it.
I think that's my biggest problem with it, is because it reviewed so highly. I was expecting something almost brand new that would knock my socks off, and it's really good. It's knocking my socks off. It's a brilliant game, but it's just like it's still Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's the reviews have almost hurt it.
They have,
like,
because
of your expectations. Yeah.
Well, the reviews have hurt it in the way that the game's come out and a lot of people on PC just straight up couldn't play it because of frame rate issues. And the conversation goes to like, why is this reviewed so highly if so many people can't play it? And it's just stuff like that. And then it deflates everything a little bit. And I mean, reviews are reviews, right? This is how it's kind of always been. But
oh yeah, it's not the first time it's happened. Definitely won't be the last.
100%, yeah.
It's just one of those things where, from what I've heard, right, obviously people have performance issues and all of that, but no one's, like, the actual game itself, like, no one has an issue.
Yeah, the game is great. It's probably, like, the best. At least, okay, I'm not far enough in to make, proper judgments.
The big claim.
Yeah, but, like, as far as, like, quality of life stuff goes and just the way combat feels, like, yeah, it's brilliant. It's great.
Yeah. I will say I have seen a couple Twitch clips of some bugs in game, but I've not run into any bugs like other than like performance bugs myself, and yeah, it seems like really solid.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to really sinking my teeth into it. I'm off work on Wednesday, and I'm just gonna play it all day basically. I've went on Google, and I basically Googled like, okay, where can I find a great sword? And it's like, slight spoilers aside, for myself, I mean, of like, where it is basically and what the area is, because I don't care. I'm going to start my own character, I'm going to start a new character. Where's the big fuck off sword? And then I'll play the game.
No, you've ruined it now. You've seen spoilers. How dare you?
We're playing, so it's like Laura's character at the moment. She's playing. I've been playing a little bit, but mainly watching. And I'm quite jealous because she's playing right now behind me. But yeah, my dude's just going to be just guts, basically, from Berserk. That's how I play. Yeah. That's how I play all Souls games. It's like, I want to be guts. But yeah, it's, everyone's loving it. Basically, everyone on my friends list is playing it. It's the new big thing.
If people can play it, they seem to be enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. So sorry, you go.
I was going to say, I've seen a fair amount of people complaining about performance and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's just a loud minority, right?
Or they're so loud because they can't play what is apparently the greatest game ever made.
But like, it's just, I remember listening, even speaking with work colleagues and stuff, being like, so many people can't play it. And I'm there like, I bet it's not so many people though. I bet it's just a really angry minority.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
when rightly so, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't want, like, people make it out to be like, half the people that have bought it can't play it, and it's like, no.
Oh yeah, that's definitely not the case. I definitely was memeing a lot when I couldn't play it, being like, oh, terrible buggy game mess, it's 0 out of 10. And then as soon as I could play it, I was like, okay, it's 9 out of 10. It's almost perfect.
Game is perfect now because I can play.
Yeah.
How many hours have you put into it so far?
Ooh, I think 11 or 12. I have beaten the first main boss.
What the fuck? Elden Ring has bosses? Spoilers.
Oh no. That's all I'll say is I've beaten like the first main thing, and I've put 11-ish hours into it.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah,
I've been exploring a lot, so
I mean, that's what that game's all about, right?
Yeah.
It's the new main thing. It's just Dark Souls being very Metroidvania before, where it's like go down these corridors, maybe go through this field for a minute, but then the field has 3 exits. Now it's just like go wherever you want, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a thing over there. Who knows? Even we don't know.
There often is.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on from Elden Ring then. Have you played anything else this week?
Me, no. But I'm quite excited to hear about you, because you have a game that you were going to play last week, but it didn't arrive on time, right?
Yes. This is this is going to be a very interesting and probably very quick discussion.
Oh no.
So we're obviously referring to Horizon Forbidden West, right?
Yeah.
And
The game that got overshadowed very quickly.
the game that got overshadowed very, very quickly. So let me just find the image. That looks cool. That'll do. We, again, my partner and I, have already moved on. Not because it's bad, not because, it's a terrible game or whatever.
It's just not Elden Ring.
It's just not Elden Ring. That's literally it. So
Can't believe it happened to him again.
it happened to him again. And I did the same thing last time. I was one of those people. So for anyone who doesn't realise, when Horizon Forbidden Dawn came out on PS4, it wasn't on PC at the time, it was just PS4. It came out, got really good reviews, 8s, 9s out of 10. This is
fantastic game.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic
It is,
game.
and I finished it. I finished Horizon Zero Dawn. Amazing game. One of my favourites. And then I think it was a week after that came out, Breath of the Wild came out.
Yeah.
And
Breath of the Wild dominated.
And Breath of the Wild got the exact same type of reviews you're seeing now of Elden Ring, where it's like, this game is the best thing ever. How are you not playing this game? How are you going to miss this? And it was a bit worse with Breath of the Wild, because I think it was the Switch launch as well.
Yeah, it was the Switch launch, yeah.
So it was like new console, who dis? And there's, everyone's playing Breath of the Wild. And we shelved Horizon, and we didn't finish it for a good, couple of months, because it just got benched. And the exact same thing has happened to the new one, where we started it, we finished the tutorial, which is like, how these open world games always are. They start with like a corridor, right? And you get a bunch of story stuff. You go down the corridor, you learn the mechanics, and I think we got to the open world, and that's where we were like, okay, we'll stop for the evening, and that was on maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday. And then you look in the corner of your eye, and here comes the Elden Ring train. It's coming into the station very quickly. So.
If Elden Ring didn't get the reviews it got, imagine it was getting like 8s out of 10s and stuff. People sit there and go, I'm going to finish Horizon first then, because fuck it, this game's great.
I was more than happy to be one of those people where it's like, Elden Ring's come out, it's reviewing well, but it's reviewing the same as Horizon. And I want to I want to play Horizon. It's like this game that's great. But then the amount of press that was going into Elden Ring's launch, and the reception and the reviews, it felt almost unmissable.
Elden Ring is the Half-Life 3 that actually came out.
It's
that mythical game.
What does that mean?
It's that mythical game that was never coming out, and it was never coming out, and then all of a sudden it's out.
Oh yeah,
dream can come true.
It brought George R.R. Martin out of his grave to kick over the corpse of Game of Thrones books.
Although I will say, I've seen other games delay because they're like, we don't want to compete with this game that's releasing.
Yeah.
I don't know why Horizon didn't just be like, we're delaying by 2 weeks.
Here's why, right?
Purely
because people will shelf Horizon. They will absolutely still buy it.
Yes. Yeah.
Its sales might get slightly affected, not drastically though.
If people,
people who know they want Horizon will play or have completed Horizon before Elden Ring come out. People that love that, and the type of people that maybe are on the fence about Horizon, might be on the fence about Elden Ring. So
True.
Yeah, Horizon for us, it has not been abandoned. It has been shelved for like
yeah,
3-4 weeks until we get this out of the way. I'll be playing Elden Ring and I'll finish that. The next game, because I rent all my games, the next thing coming is going to be Triangle Strategy, and that's not for me. That's more for Laura. So she'll play that and she'll fall off Elden Ring probably, maybe.
I'm looking at some March games, and you got like Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, and Kirby coming out.
Kirby
So
will be a quick one. Kirby games are never long.
Yeah, but there are some big games coming out in March as well.
Yeah, but so if you were looking forward to any kind of Horizon discussion, what we now podcast number 8, look for like podcast number 12.
Yeah.
You might find
So-
it there.
I intend to play Horizon before Elden Ring.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Because obviously of Atelier Sophie, I went into how much I really wanted to play that game.
Mm.
Because I've already put Elden Ring on the back burner, I'm like, I can just wait. Why risk having issues that
Yeah.
maybe I might have when I can go pick Horizon, which is a fully completable game with no issues, pretty much.
Yeah.
I might add the odd bug here and there, like every game would have, but like
true.
that game is fully like fucking masterpiece.
What
So
I,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm gonna go on to that next.
What I will say about Horizon, that we got simply just from the opening basically, is I feel like whilst we were playing it, the new one, I kind of forgot what Horizon was in like a good way. Where
Yes.
as I was playing it, I was like, oh yeah, like you level up and stuff. I remember that stuff, and like you do a few tutorial stuff, and it's like we've highlighted all the robot monsters parts, and you can shoot them off. And I was like, oh yeah.
And it tells you like
Yeah,
destroyed if killed, or like
yeah,
unharvestable unless like the monster dies. So you've got bits you can't knock off and bits you need to knock off if you want to harvest and stuff like that.
yeah. So I just completely forgot what that game was, and it's like
I still need
so
to
good.
play the original.
they're
could've-
really good. They're really
Well, they
really
gave
good.
it out for free on PlayStation during quarantine for people.
Oh, did
so
they?
I own the game for free. Yeah, they just gave it they gave out like 11 games like Abzu and stuff, but Horizon was like the big one. So I own it. It's downloaded on my PS4. It's just
Right, well
Turning on
then,
my PS4.
after Elden Ring, you can join
Yeah.
us. We'll play Horizon.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, Elden Ring is already going to be a slow one because tomorrow there's an MMO expansion which I've bought. So
Oh god.
Was that Guild Wars?
Guild Wars 2, yeah.
Can't believe that game's still running.
Oh no, I love it to bits, but yeah, it'll be a slow enjoy, but yeah, I will finish Elden and Dark Souls eventually.
All right, we'll save your Guild Wars stuff for next week then when you've played it.
Yeah.
I've played one other game this week. It sounds like I've had a bunch of time, but this is just a smaller game. It was one of the games I mentioned last week how I threw a bunch of games at the wall and nothing really sticked except for Infernax. Actually, one other kind of stuck. I've been playing a lot of Superhot.
Superhot. Oh.
Yeah, not the first one. So I've been playing Superhot Mind Control Delete, which is, it's not enough there to be called a sequel, but it's
Right.
but it's their follow up.
I assume you're not playing in VR.
No.
Okay.
I wish I was.
What is Josh, a millionaire?
Yeah. I ain't got the space for it. It's tiny where we are. In the bedroom. So been playing a lot of this. And have either of you two played Superhot before?
Watched.
No, but
I've
I've
not
seen a little bit of like clips, so I kind of get like the whole premise.
The concept basically is time only moves when you move. So if you move forward, if you look around, time moves. Other than that, everything is frozen. You spawn into a room, and there are enemies everywhere, which are these like red crystallized dudes, and they want to kill you. That's all they want to do. They just want to kill you, and you have to kill them. And they'll have guns. You'll start with nothing, and as they shoot at you, they shoot at you in almost like, best way to describe it is like the Matrix, like bullet time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, it becomes kind of like a puzzle game, where you see, the bullets are flying at you, but they're not moving yet. Which way do you move to dodge the bullets, and then anticipating where to go, where they're going to shoot next, and you can punch them and beat them up, and you can also pick up their guns and shoot them back, but your bullets work the same way, so your bullets will only fly through the air when you're moving around and stuff. It's really clever. It's really good. There's nothing else really like it.
Well, I have a question about
Yeah.
this. Since we were talking about earlier, like indie games, like kind of having simpler graphics.
Yeah,
This game is basically white rooms and red enemies.
it is 100%. Yeah,
Do you think it would add more if they were they had like really detailed like models and like set pieces, so you feel like you're like in a movie almost? Or do you think or just the simple design for like the actual gameplay is the best?
I think the simple design carries this game through what it is. It's so stylish. It's like you say, it's white backgrounds, red enemies, weapons and pickups are black, and it looks so stylish. It's like a really saturated red, so it really pops out all the enemies.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first game, or I should say just Superhot, was like linear levels, as in you spawn in a room, kill all the dudes, level ends, next level, and then it's just like I say, it's almost like a puzzle game, where it's like, okay, solve this room. This one's a bit different. So in this one, it's not a roguelike, but there's like I want to describe it as like an overworld, I guess, but it's like command prompt, right, on a PC, because that's this game's thing. Is it's all like ASCII text and
you're hacking the PC.
Yeah, hacking and this that. There's lots of stuff that goes with it story wise, but you get that's the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then you pick a level, and then you have to do like maybe like 6 or 7 levels in a row, but they're somewhat randomly generated. They're like presets, but the enemies in them will be in different places, and the stuff in the level to pick up will be different. And every time you complete a level, like every sort of other level, you can pick a power up. So there'll be stuff like you can punch bullets back, which is this is all new to this game. But it's like, yeah, a bullet's coming at you. Normally, you either move out the way or you get shot. Yeah, but you can punch bullets back, or there'll be something like a more simple one, like start every level in this section of levels with a random gun, or something like that.
Okay.
And that's really cool. So that makes it a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And they've added a bunch more enemy types and stuff. Like there's one on the screen you can see here. It's one of the first ones they introduced. This is new to this game. It's like it looks like a regular enemy, but he's covered in spikes. And when you kill him and he shatters, bullets just fly out from where he is in all directions. Which, if you're close to him, you just get blasted and you lose a life.
Yeah.
But you can get some really interesting scenarios where it's like you have a shuriken or something, and you throw it, and you get him really far away, and he explodes, and then he kills like 2 other enemies next to him, and it all ricochets and
chain reaction.
Yeah, there's really cool stuff like that, and there's a few other enemies where they spawn in and they chase you down to punch you, but you can't kill them. So you're having to do the level, but also constantly aware that there's like something chasing you. But again, it's chasing you in the way that time still stops for it when you stop. So you can still kind of...
It's put a clock on,
yeah,
essentially, without putting a clock on you.
Exactly, yeah, and it's stuff like, okay, now I have to not only be aware of this guy with a katana about to slice me, but I'm being chased by this enemy I can't kill. So, like, you jump through a window or something, or to get away from it. It's really cool. I'm really enjoying this game.
I will say, I've seen this before. Didn't appeal to me on like console, but when I saw the VR, I was like, "Oh, this would be really fun in VR."
Yeah, so
I can imagine it'd be like A+.
I don't know if this version of it is on VR. I know that Superhot has a VR variation, which is really popular. There's a few screenshots, but I think the first game went really viral based on just like its aesthetic, and like you just did, it does like the whole. Every time you complete a level, it's like super hot, and just like and repeats it over and over again. It's. I'm having more fun with it than I thought I would. So I've been playing a lot of that. I think I'm near the end. It's not like a long game. I think I'm like 5 hours in, and I'm seeing the end of it now. And a lot of it is repetition as well, because you can get to the end of a set of levels and fail, and you've got to do them all over again. And it's not bad because they're randomly generated.
Okay.
So it's different every time.
Right, so it's not like, let me do the puzzle I've done 4 times in a row again.
No,
like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, I've died and I've got a new thing to figure out.
Yeah, it says like, okay, here's 10 quote-unquote puzzles to do in a row.
Yeah.
With like 4 sets of power-ups in the middle. And you can get to the end, and then if you like fail because you have a really bad level or something, you have to do 10 from the start with like 4 power-ups again, but all the levels and power-ups will be different. So
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I should have premised this entire thing as well. It's a first-person shooter. I didn't say that.
Why Josh likes it.
Yes, yeah, because at the end of the day, it's it's a shooter, and it's really satisfying to have like a pistol or something, and you see a guy in a distance, and you're not moving, so time stopped, and you're thinking like, he's running this direction, so I'm going to shoot in the air over here, and then that's where I think he'll be, and then so you fire that bullet, and then you move around a little bit, but you keep watching, and just to see the enemy like run into the bullet and then just shatter is really, really good.
That's nice. An FPS where you're not like having to think quick.
Exactly. You can
as you want.
100%. You can like stop and think, but you can also play it quite quick if you want to. There's that as well. So, this is on Xbox PC Game Pass. So it's the main reason why I'm checking it out. It came out a while ago, but then I saw it on there, and I was like, yeah, I'll finally check this out, and I love it. It's brilliant.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. So I think that's all of our games for the week, unless anyone's got anything else. Yeah.
I think it was start of the week. Steam has their Next Fest thing going on.
Oh yeah, I remember my brother talking about playing that with you.
Yes, because I played with your brother. We were checking out a couple of them and a couple of them multiplayer. And basically it's, as they say, a celebration of upcoming games. And it's just demos. Just tons and tons of demos.
Okay.
And there is a game, I'm trying to find it because I can't remember its name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I think I know. My brother was telling me about it. Is it like Stardew Valley, but you're in a cave or something?
Yes. Very good. Is it this one? Yes, Core Keeper.
Core Keeper, like CORE.
Yeah. Core Keeper.
Core Keeper. Okay,
So
I've never heard of this. Oh, there's the Next Fest banner that you were talking about.
Yeah. So it's not even in early access. It's a demo and goes into early access soon. And
is it being kickstarted or is it just straight into early access?
Couldn't
I
tell
assume
you.
if it's on this, it should be early access.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd put a Kickstarter game on Steam.
But basically you spawn in and you've got some like ruins that you can interact with once you've met certain criteria.
Yeah.
But basically you wander around, you have to gather resources, you mine. There's like tree roots, that's like the punching trees in this game. There's like roots you've got to find.
Yeah.
Food is mostly like underground mushrooms and stuff like that, but still your generic like loop. But no, this game is really cute. It feels very Stardew Valley kind of.
It's lovely art style, lovely pixel art.
It's like Terraria, Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot more, I would say, combat focused.
Yeah, a lot of these screenshots are based around combat and stuff.
But it has your farming and your fishing, and it has a talent tree as well. So you get a EXP whenever you do the thing you're doing, and then
Yeah.
you can put talent points in every 5 levels and stuff,
Is
and
it-
you level up very quickly from when we played. We started hitting like level 40, 50 and stuff, so it's big numbers, but you level up quickly, so it's like it
Yeah.
sounds a lot more than it is. But
Very
and this is
interesting.
This-
multiplayer, right?
Pardon,
This,
Steve?
this is multiplayer, right?
Yes. The whole reason we played this is because it's up to 8 players.
Yeah, 1 to 8
Oh.
player
And
sandbox.
It in the demo it has 3 fightable bosses, and the biggest criticism is the biggest like thing I can say about it is I think it has too much in the demo.
Yeah, he completed
like-
it.
we killed a boss, and then we did stuff like, I know it's minor spoilers, but I don't want to say anything. But when you kill a boss, you get stuff. You can do more stuff. So
Yeah.
we ended up killing one, and then I was like, well, we've hit the highest tier of like materials that we can mine and forge out of. So I was like, I'm kind of done with it. And then my 2 friends carried on playing it, and they fought another 2 bosses after that. And I'm like, we quote unquote finished it, but there was still far more for them to go on and do and interact with, even
Yeah.
though we had hit the highest like materials we could get and stuff like that, and you couldn't get any more powerful.
The more you talk about this, the more it sounds like Terraria.
Yes, it's
Like
it's
through and
closer.
through.
But it's. I mean, I guess Terraria is very built on base building. It's just it has a very Stardew Valley feel to it when you're playing it,
Yeah.
but it is a lot closer to Terraria, and there's a lot of stuff that was locked off. I couldn't go fishing. I was devastated. That's not released until early access. But like you get mine carts, and like you can set up automation and stuff to
Yeah.
like drill from really big mining nodes and stuff, and we couldn't do any of that because it wasn't in yet, which is good. As I said, my biggest criticism was there was too much in the demo. But no, it's very promising, and this is a good game to keep an eye on, especially if you like that style of game.
This
And
sounds like it's
obviously
got
multiplayer.
It sounds like it's got the potential to be massively popular.
Well,
The-
I have
my
a
only
question
fear
then.
is it
Oh,
does
sorry.
that thing which games do, where it gets that big momentum and then just stops.
Yeah, true.
But we'll see.
I have a question. You played with 3 people, right?
Yes.
It's got up to 8 players. Does it feel like you can have fun with 8 people, or would it feel like you're like swamped with players? You know.
So, I mean, we played with 3 just because we had 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
'Cause
the
I'm like-
monsters. I don't think stuff scales, but at the same time, like we were struggling to equip everyone with gear.
Mm-hmm.
Because it costs so much to just equip one person, and durability is a thing, so stuff was breaking a
Yeah.
lot. So constantly re-equipping 3 people, and also, I mean, it annoyed the shit out of me, but I really liked it. Is on your like I had a farm to keep all of our food going, so we'd had food because you have a hunger meter as well as your health meter and stuff. And your plants don't always give you back seeds. So a farm is not self-sustainable.
Oh, I don't know how I
You
feel
can't
about that.
just sit. So yeah, you're like that, but then it forces you to actually go out and fight
yeah.
monsters and do stuff.
Yeah,
It
Stardew
means
Valley.
you can't just
Stardew Valley
sit
didn't do
at
that, did
base.
it? Stardew Valley had to always buy more seeds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, a farm in Stardew wasn't self-sustainable, so I guess that's
but like in Terraria, it certainly was. You always got back your seeds
Yeah,
if you harvested a full plant.
I feel like in these sorts of games, you were saying, Steve, like, does it scale with like 8 people or whatever? Usually, my experience with these games is when you scale up your players and you start actually playing with 8 people, you tend to end up almost specializing. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
yeah.
is it a game where like, oh, you can kind of do everything as free, and if you add more, it's probably going to be like too overcrowded, and there'll be like people who don't have anything to
you
do?
won't have overcrowded issues. I think the game might get harder with more people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because you're going to need so much more food.
yeah,
And food is a really big issue, by the way. Like, I was constantly harvesting plants, going out, getting more food, just so that we didn't have it as an issue.
Yeah.
But I was doing it on cooldown.
Yeah.
And it was we couldn't do alchemy because it has alchemy and stuff. It has so much stuff in there. We couldn't do that because it required crops, and I was spending all our crops on food, so that wasn't an issue. So we couldn't make like health potions and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna get this. This sounds cool. I've decided.
No, this is a very cute game, and it's if you have just got a group looking for another like Terraria like experience, keep this on your radar.
Yeah, I'm always looking for Terraria experiences because Terraria is amazing.
Yeah,
that's cool though. So the demo is out now. The game I've been scrolling through the Steam page a little bit. It's not far off. 8th of March.
No, it's not. That's the whole thing. Is every game on the next fest is coming out within. Like soon. I think it's like 2 weeks to maybe a month at the maximum. That's the whole idea of it. Is to show off games.
Yeah.
Coming out or going into early access in this situation.
I assume there was nothing else that you played that you were like.
I think there was one more that like, on the flip side, we wanted a little bit more from it.
Yeah.
And it was called Demeo, Demeo. And this is a very D&D like tabletop inspired game.
Yeah.
Where you pick a class and then you basically are now a figurine on a playing board, and you when it's your turn you can move the amount of tiles that your character is allowed to move and do actions, and then it's the next player's turn or an enemy's turn, and you basically do like what I would call an old school tabletop RPG game. You just play it through, and there's 3 floors. The first 2 floors are you gathering up resources and money to buy stuff from the shop, which you're allowed to do in between floors, and then the 3rd floor is the big like boss. But the demo only gave us the 1st floor, so we weren't able to. We didn't fight any big enemies. We didn't get to spend all our gold that we went round collecting at the shop or anything.
This gives me mad vibes of a game on PS3 called Eye of Judgment. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
It was a game. Let me see if I can find it. It was a game that came out on PS3. It came with a pack of cards, and you had to have the eye toy, whatever it was that they called it.
Oh no, I do remember this.
And it was here it is. This is a terrible image, but you can get the idea.
Yeah.
It came with a stand to put the webcam on, and you put down cards, and it was all like, what's the word, like AR?
Oh yeah, augmented reality. Yeah.
And the way we were looking at that game a minute ago, you were describing Demeo, and it showed screenshots of them like holding packs of cards, and then stuff was like appearing and stuff. Yeah, it reminded me of this. This game was crap, by the way.
The cards in that game was literally like your special abilities. So like if you had a health potion, you had a card to donate that you had a health potion.
Yeah.
Like you could do your normal attacks, and that would be a card, and it would have a cooldown timer of like 1 turn, and that was just to denote when you use this, it doesn't use it, right?
Yeah.
It just goes on cooldown, just can't use it over and over. But no, it was definitely another game that's on our radar, but it didn't give us a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. I've lost my tab with the page, but oh god.
But it's definitely the style of game where people who like D&D and the kind of tabletop moving miniatures and actually physically having a visual, like, this is instantly up their street.
It's not cheap though. It's like 20 quid for this type of game.
And that's on sale as well.
Yeah.
But then again, it's not even released yet, right? So we can see how it does.
You can buy it. It's out.
Oh, you can actually buy it. Oh, is it actually out?
VR only.
Is that the VR only? Oh. We did not play the VR.
What is this then? This has to be it.
Wait, what's the title of the?
There's a PC edition.
Oh, here, yes, here. Okay, I'm on the wrong page. It looks to be the same game, but there's a PC version and a VR version.
Okay, the VR version's out now. The PC version's not.
Yes, and the PC version is April 7th is the release date of this one.
Okay, That's a bit
So-
further away than
yeah.
I thought it would be, but
Okay, yeah, so it's the same game, just not VR.
no, none of that VR
Yeah.
shenanigans. Yeah,
I'm trying to salvage
Wait.
the last 10 minutes that I've been looking at the VR version.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's basically the
Looks
same
the
thing.
same.
It's
Yeah, it
basically
looks
the
the
same
same.
thing.
Yeah,
There's no 3D humans.
those are the only two that grabbed us. I mean, they're both multiplayer, so maybe that's why they grabbed us more than
Yeah.
others. Because games with friends are always more fun than they should be. But
Always, even if they're terrible games.
yeah,
Right, shall we get in some news?
Let's get into some news.
Let's look at
but
some
there
news
is
thing.
no news.
Oh, there's tons of news, my friend. There's so much news. I'm going to open up this tab, and we have, boom, bada bing, bada boom.
yeah.
Yes, the best news
Oh.
first.
The big news
Happy
today.
Pokemon Day. It's
Happy
Day.
Pokemon Day, everybody. That's today, right?
Yep,
No,
27.
this today proved to me, right, that we can be so like down and out and be like, nah, I think Pokemon's lost it. You know, I think they just can't. They're just losing it. They're not keeping with us. They're not moving with the times. Bam, Gen 9. Oh my god,
Yeah,
new Pokemon game. Let's go.
Gen 9 just
Hell yeah.
out of nowhere. I think it's safe to say that no one expected this today.
Oh,
No,
absolutely not.
Oh, I know. I saw people where I follow a lot of Pokemon people. They were like fiending. They were like, Gen 9, it's been 3 years. We need a Gen 9.
Yeah, no, there'll
It's
people be
released
like
it
that.
today,
But...
or, you know.
Is this not soon? What's the normal gap between proper gens in Pokemon? Is it 3? Is it? I thought it was longer than 3 years.
I know. I feel like it's been longer because usually we get a follow-up version. Like, we got the 2
Yes,
DLCs for Sword and
yeah.
Shield. But then the next 2 games, being the Diamond and Pearl remake and Arceus, are not connected to Sword and Shield at all.
Yeah, there was no
So-
Pokemon Gun. Everyone's waiting for Pokemon
Yeah.
Gun
Oh,
to be the
Pokemon
combination of
Gun.
Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
We never got Gun.
But
I,
where
I
the
lo-
next 2 games didn't connect, it's like the competitive battles are still being played on Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
So people are like, okay, we want new, fresh stuff, please.
Yeah, so let's get people up to speed very, very quickly. This is the new gen of Pokemon. This is Generation 9. It's coming
Pokemon
in late
Scarlet.
2022, which is really...
I think they said November.
Yeah, so Christmas. Christmas. We want it out
Yeah.
for Christmas. It's going to be more like Legends Arceus,
More open worldy.
more open world, catch Pokemon out in the wild. You can see this screenshot here with the Pikachu and the Lavatar. What's it called, Steve?
Larvitar.
Lavatar.
Avatar, yeah.
It'll be the same. I assume the same battle system from Arceus, where it's like you throw your ball out and you
Probably
fight.
similar.
It would be interesting if they bring in the strong and agile style, but I doubt they'll do that.
Yeah, I don't think they
have
will.
some new gimmick. I will say a couple notes is it looks like they've tried to change or update some of the models slightly, not drastically. It still looks kind of like garbage because it's on Switch. And the region looks to be based around Spain or Portugal or
Yes.
something.
So people have kind of worked out from just the locations, but also I think there's part of the trailer where there's like a map on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like Spain. Basically, is what I've heard.
Yeah.
So we had Sword and Shield, which was our one. That was our English one.
The UK.
And
Shame there was so much controversy around it.
yeah, the Brit Bong Pokemon. Oi, bruv, give us your Pokeballs. And what Sun and Moon was what, like Hawaii and stuff.
Yeah, Hawaii. I have seen for this game. Apparently, it's already like been confirmed via like footnote in like the home update, Pokemon Home update, that this game won't have every single Pokemon in it. It'll be like you can only transfer Pokemon to this game that are in this game. Like so.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels
It's
like
probably not.
it felt like this was always going to happen with a game that followed in Legends Arceus' footsteps, right? Because
Yeah.
say you play a normal, I say normal, an older Pokemon game, like, Gen 8, and it's like, here's a route. It's basically a corridor, but you've got 2 sets of long grass in it. This long grass has like 7 different Pokemon in it.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's like, because it's open world and they're trotting about, you can't really do that without it looking really weird. Like, what do? Do you have, like, here's a field. In this field, Rhydon lives 2 feet away from a Psyduck who lives 2 feet
Yeah.
away from a Caterpie. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know? So it always felt like... And I'm fine, personally, as a really casual player of Pokemon, I'm fine with a trade-off of less Pokemon in it, as long as it, like, looks... Not that it looks good, but, like, looks
Yeah.
realistic, if that makes sense. Like,
As long as the quality is high, you
Yeah.
don't need to have everything in there.
yeah.
They've got to the point where it's almost like too much to handle, right? Just
Yeah.
merely having every single Pokemon available is almost too much for them before they've even got to making the game.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a lot of cool stuff here, though. There's a few bits that I caught that I really like the look of. It's in this screenshot here in the middle left. It's a couple of... Oh, Steve, Sam, help me out here.
Wobbly.
Yes, the little cotton bud birds. They're chilling in what looks like one of the towns or one of the cities in the game.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of, because if it follows legends
Oh no.
and you can
Yeah.
just catch Pokemon by throwing balls or whatever, you can now just catch Pokemon in towns that are just, you know...
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, because imagine, like, say Pokemon was real, the ultimate kid dream, right? In real life, I'm walking around London, England, and there's a pigeon, or I want to catch it. It's like if Pokemon were real, there would be wild Pokemon in the cities.
I guess they have always forced so they're like, oh, Pokemon are in tall grass.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I guess we've moved away from that for a while now.
Yeah, you can finally do something. It feels more realistic as you can be in this make-believe world of catching monsters. I like the idea of you go in someone's rubbish bin outside their house in a town, and there's a Trubbish in there, and you just catch it, because that's where a Trubbish would be. It wouldn't be in a field somewhere. It would be in someone's bin. More I'm talking about it, I'm getting excited. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, no, that's what Pokemon does. That's what it does. The more you talk about it, the more hyped you get. And then when it comes out, we'll be back to being normal, boring British, this game's terrible, blah, 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 blah. But
I will say, the graphics make me, like, I'm like, it looks like they're trying, but it just looks bad on Switch.
Yeah, this is the first... This must be a cross-gen game, right? Because I assume this is the PS2 version? Because it looks awful.
I would say also...
These screenshots are fine for me, apart from the one with the Pikachu.
Oh,
that one
that looks absolutely When you actually see like the grass and like the two like wind turbines there and the mountain, I'm like the
video makes it look bad as well.
That's got some charm, even if the graphics when you're up close don't look as great. Like aesthetically, there's stuff going on. Whereas the one on the right there is what I'm used to, which is just grass.
Here's your JPEG field, and your JPEG the gravel grass.
Because I am starting to come around to what you said when we discussed about Arceus, and I was like, it doesn't look too bad. The more I've played it, the more I'm like, man, it literally is just rock, grass, gravel.
Oh mate, I told you I played like 2 hours of Horizon Forbidden West. It's not fair that Pokemon is treated this way. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Are you in the like main character designs look very basic? Like,
yeah, it's the first ones. The first ones in a while that I don't like. I think the main character looks a bit boring.
Do you want to try show off the starters and like say their names?
Do I want to try? Here they are, boy. Mm-hmm. So you've got Sprigatito. is the cat.
The grass cat, yeah.
Grass cat. Fuecoco is God knows what it is. Oh, it's a crocodile.
The fire crocodile.
Yeah. And it's your boy Quaxley.
Yeah,
he's the best one.
The best one of the three. I'm sorry.
I love him so much. It's the hand. It's the sassy hand.
Yeah, it's the right wing, but also the hair.
Yeah, the like pompadour hair.
I saw someone like recolor it yellow, and it looks like Trump, and I'm like, no, don't ruin my sweet innocent boy.
Sam did mention his right wing.
That fire starter.
Yeah,
the twisted fire starter.
Type of Pokemon that is in its final evolution is gonna look sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks like dumb and adorable there,
Yeah.
which means it's just gonna go off the chain. Whereas I'm like, you started strong now with Quaxley. You've gotta keep it going now, and no one cares about grass starters. So
Oh no, but Sprigatito he looks so cute as well. I'm like, oh, I want all three.
This 100% to me, it looks like a Neopet.
Yes, they
just had
these
too many cats.
They don't look like Pokemon to me, but give it time.
My only problem as well is the problem that I feel like a lot of starters have is they start on like 4 feet and they always end up upright, like bipedal.
Yeah, fire types for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hope it stays like a
cat.
like a cat, and just becomes a big scary cat, like a lion or something. Not a lion, but like a what do you do, like a jaguar or something? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, there are big cats in the world, right?
Yeah.
And you think, oh, okay, that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah, like a tiger. I think
now but because it's a grass cat, I'm like, I even got called out earlier on by one of my friends. And I was like, it's a bloody grass cat, it's normal. And he's like, what grass cats do you know? And I'm like, yeah, how do you put those two things together?
It'll just have leaves all over it or some shit. I don't know. I think looking at Quaxley, I love his design. The fact that he is basically just a duck, and his only defining feature really is his hair. It just means that I feel the second and third evolutions are going to be all out like on the hair. He's going to have the craziest hair.
I looked at the hair and I'm like, it looks like a sailor captain's hat or like a pirate hat. That's how I imagine that's going to go.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, so
that was my first instinct.
Final evolution is just straight up got like a crazy, massive pirate hat or something.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh, that's good.
And a new Pokemon generation means we'll have months and months of fake leaks coming our way.
Yeah.
Don't we already, apart from Psyduck, don't we have like just a generic duck Pokemon?
We have
already?
Ducklet, yeah.
Yeah, Ducklet. So that was the one thing I thought of when I saw this, is I was like, we do already have, like, quite literally
a duck
Pokemon.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, there's Ducklet. It's just a duck.
Yeah.
You could
He's cute as duck though.
You could recolor him and put the hair move his like fluff down here up here. Move his pubes to his head, and you've got the new starter.
That's what I mean. That was my, like, when I saw it, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But
I think that's why I like it though, just because it's so simple.
Yeah.
Do you think they're somewhat
The more
listening?
I look at the fire croc, the more I like it, and that really annoys me.
He's so happy.
He's a derby boy.
He looks like you'd let him off a lead and he'd go like run off or something, and you'd be like, no, get back here, and he's just running away smiling. I think these are brilliant. Laura didn't like them. I said you're crazy.
I still don't like the grass cat.
They'll grow on everyone.
Well, it all comes down to how decent their third evolutions look, because that's what you end up looking at most of the time.
Although I will say Rowlet is a fan favorite to this day in its base form.
Well, every gen has at least one of the starters stay really popular. Like Scorbunny is really popular in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, but this one for sure, Quaxley, is definitely taking over the internet.
I've seen a lot of the crocodile
being
popular.
No, I think both of them are strong.
Yeah, they're both solid.
The fire and the water one.
I'm not sure what it is about.
I want them.
I think it's like it's the cat's eyes or something. Something is.
It looks
odd.
like it could turn into like a sexy female cat.
No,
eventually.
you need
I
to.
think
No,
I don't want that. It just looks like it just. I know we've got literally a duck over there, but it just looks like a normal animal, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't have anything that stands out.
And I like that.
Running some paint.
See, I don't like that, but
That's why I like
we'll
it.
see. Also, its name. I hate its name.
Oh, really?
Sprigatito.
Yeah,
It
they're
is a
trying to
mouthful.
do like Spriggan, right?
Spaghetti.
And then
Oh no, we're in
With
Spain, not
a Spanish twist on it, yeah.
Fuego
I
sounds
don't
very
know.
Spanish.
We'll see.
What else have we got on this page? Here are the main characters.
The main characters. Yep. They look generic AF.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen these renders.
I actually quite like those two designs.
Well, we were
just because, like,
yeah,
the main character is always made out to be obviously you're a kid, but you never look like a kid. You know.
I get what you mean. You look like almost like an older teenager in other Pokemon games. This guy looks like he's
don't look 10.
This kid's in primary school.
Yeah, this I'm like that's accurate. That's probably why people don't fucking like it.
I think the fan base of Pokemon has grown up with Pokemon, so everyone's kind of like, give us some older characters, please, so we can kind of look like we are. We don't want to necessarily play kids constantly, you know.
Yeah, but this conversation happens in all games when the fan base grows. People have been asking for a Persona game that's about adults in an office.
Adults, yeah.
For like over a decade, because every game is like, oh, you're teenagers in school again. It's like, yeah, but most of the people that play this game are adults.
Yeah.
Not trying to detract the conversation. I just feel like it's very similar.
That's fair. Representation.
This does make me think. I mentioned during our big Legends talk about how one of the most disappointing things in Legends was the character designs. When normally I think they're really interesting, at least like weird, interesting. And then they show this, and it's like, yeah, it's not bad. It's just a kid. I imagine this looks very default though, because you'll be able to customize the fuck out of them. Probably.
Yeah, they'll definitely have customization. Although they've got version differences for the main characters already. It's like different outfits.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird, but
I mean,
we'll have to see what the gimmicks are. Like, we basically just know the region, the starters, the main characters. We don't know anything else yet, so there'll be a lot more to come over the coming months.
I know we've already mentioned it, but my only complaint so far is just that the graphics look terrible. These screenshots aren't really fair, because it's
screenshots never are.
These are shots from the trailer, but they're almost like squished to hide the aliasing. In the actual trailer, there is so much aliasing, and there's also a bit where it like pans around the city, and the frame rate is like unapologetically low. It's like they spin the camera around and do like a sick twist, and it's like 15 FPS. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
I'm kind of like praying like that one of the reveals would be, oh, it's also coming to PC and we don't need to play it on the Switch.
Yeah, that's...
I know it won't happen,
as long as it's made for the Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had this discussion, right, where the Switch clearly isn't the problem. It's not helping, but it is not the main problem. So many other games can look and be beautiful while having so much content and quality.
Yeah.
That Pokemon should also be able to do it.
I'm trying to find a still that just looks like that. Look at that. It's just Pikachu freaking out because he can't handle the fact that the texture 2 feet away from him is blurry as fuck. Yeah. People have also said apparently, I have not looked into this at all, but apparently when it spins around this central area, there's like all the types. You see here, there's like fire and water and stuff. Apparently, there's a new type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and obviously no one knows what it is yet. But that could be interesting. Whole new type. Don't know what they would add. I mean, you got the newest one is Fairy, right? The newest.
Yes, Fairy was the newest one. And I'm kind of like at the point where I'm like I'm done being hyped about a Pokemon game. Like, I'm excited for it, but I'm done being like all overhyped because like Sword and Shield, when they revealed that they weren't doing all the Pokemon, it was like such a bummer. So I'm just kind of like, I'll take it as it comes, but I'm not like obsessing over it like I have done in past Pokemon games where I'm like, oh, it'd be the best thing ever.
Well, you're within the small minority group that really likes the competitive aspect, right? So the news of we're not putting in every Pokemon is just like limited, that's like the worst news for someone like you. It's like I said, it's the complete opposite for me. It's like I don't care, but you can have an established team that you quite like or whatever to play competitively.
Yeah, and I couldn't,
you can't make it. Yeah, you can't make it in this game. So and like you say, like if the competitive moves to this game, which it no doubtably will.
Yeah,
it's like, what do? Like you can't have your boy Trubbish's evolution, whatever it's called, Garbodor.
Garbodor. Yeah.
God, I love Trubbish so much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then it's also like because they seem to like Pokemon always goes 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. So there might be like maybe they'll reintroduce Megas. They said they were going to at some point. Maybe they'll reintroduce Sea Crystals. Maybe they'll get rid of Dynamaxing. Probably will.
Yeah. Dynamaxing
so, yeah.
is gone forever. I have no doubt in my mind that that's gone.
It was a fantastic for the actual competitive VGC doubles battles, but other than that, it was dog shit.
Dynamaxing, in my mind, was not very popular, and also the theme of the game Sword and Shield, Sword and Shield being in England, where we love football. It was like an excuse to have big Pokemon in like a football stadium kind of arena.
Yes. Although the chanting, like was quite fun. I remember directly after they came out, and it was at GDQ, and everyone was like chanting the song, and it was like, oh, that kind of feels cool,
Yeah. I don't know, mate. I feel like if there is a new mechanic, it's certainly not in this trailer.
Yeah, they'll reveal that in a month or two probably.
Place your bets now. What weird thing they're gonna do? If they're gonna do something strange.
Fusions. We haven't had fusions yet.
We haven't had fusions. That could be really cool. That would be super limited, though, right?
I don't know.
I feel about that, but
I think.
I'm not sure. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think they'll do alternate forms like Megas. Some sort of twist on that. But like where it's like.
But we've had like regional forms and Megas. It's like.
I think some kind of form you can jump between. Like really rapidly,
like a form shift.
Yeah, like Legends had, like you were saying, agile and what was the other one? Agile and strength, or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that, where you do a move a certain way and your Pokemon changes the way it looks to do the move or something. I think that's my guess. I just made that up, but that's for free. That's for free Nintendo. You can have that one.
They'll do something that everyone complains about and then plays with and then still complains about it.
Yeah.
But still plays.
That's cool though. I think we've kind of squeezed every last drop out of this, but it's exciting to talk about Pokemon again in an exciting way. If we go on to this, then the next one, we'll close this down. We have Evo news. So this is from Evo itself. Evo being the big yearly fighting game tournament that takes place around when's it, like August usually in Las Vegas.
Somewhere, but it's the big one. It's like if your game's in Evo, you're made it.
Yeah, if you've ever played fighting games or gotten into fighting games, or you even know about esports, you probably know about Evo. It's been going on for decades now.
The only fighting games I consider like actual proper fighting games are ones that are at Evo. Yeah, pretty much.
So this is their announcement that Smash Bros will no longer be at Evo. It's been. I think both Ultimate and Melee have been at Evo for years and years and years as like 2 separate events, like 2 separate runnings. So whereas everyone's always fighting for a spot, because there's only so many spots that can get the the limelight. Smash Bros used to get 2. It used to get Ultimate and Melee. But yeah,
and they were always very popular viewing as well.
Yes, they bring in massive numbers. This, to me... So, Sony bought Evo, right?
I can't remember. Maybe? I don't know.
So I'm going to Google this quickly, but Sony buy Evo.
Where are you going with this?
Well, if Sony bought Evo. So why would
Nintendo say Evo put out a statement saying Nintendo doesn't want to work with us?
Exactly,
anymore,
yeah. Is it like a Nintendo thing saying like we don't want to be on some like Sony event? Because that's where my brain goes. There's not a lot they've really said about it. This is March 2021. Sony acquired Evo.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think of why else Nintendo would want it there. It's free publicity as always.
Have always been very awkward though, haven't they? With their own game.
Nintendo are doing their own Smash tournaments. They have been for a while, so maybe they think like, oh, we don't need Evo anymore. But It's still a weird move.
I mean, you might find that if Evo, because this will be the first Evo, I think, run by PlayStation. Maybe I might be wrong there, but if it is, maybe there'll be PlayStation branding all over, like overlays, and because they have ad breaks and stuff, right?
Or maybe like they were
product placement at the Wazoo,
exactly.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But...
maybe Sony were making demands that like, oh, every game has to be on a PlayStation, trying to get like Smash onto PlayStation, which they know wouldn't happen.
Or a lot of the games were played on PlayStation anyway, because generally that's easier to do setups.
Yeah.
You just have a bunch of PlayStations in a row and everyone can play.
But I don't know. Maybe there was some weird restrictions that Nintendo didn't like.
Yeah.
Or it's hard to say exactly, but it's gonna feel weird not having Smash.
I was gonna say the key takeaway is it's just a massive shame, because I used to always enjoy watching Smash Bros. I would never watch all of it, but I'd always watch the finals. You have Evo usually takes place over a couple of days, and all the like games run at the same time, so they'll weed out everyone in a tournament at the same time. So you can't really watch like Strive and Street Fighter at the same time and stuff. But then they have a final day of all the finals, and if you sit down and watch it for like, you have it on for like 12 hours, and it's like, here are the Smash Bros finals, here are the Guilty Gear finals. Okay, stay tuned. Here are the Tekken finals, and it's always brilliant to watch. And it's just a shame that Smash Bros won't be there.
Yeah.
Not a lot else to really say on that. Just thought it was. It's just, it was news that made me sad. So other than that, if we go to the next one, Street Fighter 6 was announced.
Oh yeah, predictions from last week.
I actually, I edited the last podcast. I put the chapters in for the timestamps when we talk about it, and I put in the timestamps that spoilers. It was Street Fighter 6, because it was literally announced like 4 hours after we talked about what it could be.
Yeah, well, obviously we had a timer of like 8 hours. Right, when we speak.
Oh yeah, that was 8 hours. Yeah. So Sam and I was right. We were right. We both said Street Fighter 6. I think.
Rest in peace, Resident Evil.
Guess, but
considering everything that was happening.
They haven't shown much for this, right? They only showed like a teaser trailer. We haven't because we haven't seen any like fighting mechanics or anything.
No, not at all. They've shown
other than Big Ryu.
So have you seen any of this, Sam?
All I want to ask is that the actual logo.
As of right now, it is, yeah.
And that might be changing
because all the other logos. And now look at Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that logo's had controversy because apparently it's very, very, very similar to like a stock image one or something.
Oh, it's a combination of things. It's first of all, it's just kind of boring, like you're saying, compared to compared to old logos. It's just really, really boring. There's what Steve is saying is there's like, I can't remember what website it is, but there's a stock image you can buy for like $80, and it's basically
like the SF. Is that.
But putting stuff in like a hexagon like that isn't uncommon anyway, so you could argue that it's not them being it's just like creatively bankrupt, I guess.
I feel like I could go out and find like 3 logos that look almost identical to that.
Yeah, it's just
like,
it's generic basically. It's just generic. So there's a lot of talk about it. People are saying that it could just be a placeholder, as in like they want to announce it, but the logo's not finalized. I think they'd be clever to say that and change it now under the pretext that they were always going to change it, even if they weren't.
They'd be like, "Oh shit, all this merch, scrap it quick."
Yeah, everyone's complaining, and they're like, "This is a placeholder, right?" And they're like, "Yeah."
All these hoodies are just burning in the background behind them, like nothing to see here.
But it's also so in the new trailer, it's very.
It's Big Ryu.
It's not realistic.
That's all I know.
Yeah, it's not realistic, but it's like it's not stylized like the older Street Fighters are. Like if you remember Street Fighter 5, it's so colourful and this, that, and the other. Instead, what you have in this new one is Ryu looking like a doll with realistic muscles and skin and stuff. Let me see if I can find it quick. Wide Ryu Street Fighter 6.
Oh, when that picture came out of Ryu, and like everyone just put it as their like Twitter
It's Daddy Ryu
bio page photo for like the day.
I'm looking at this now and I'm trying to like, it looks fake, but I know it's real,
Yeah.
but it looks fake because it looks stupid. I'm not crazy, right? That looks
I
dumb.
expect him to take a step forward and it's Zangief.
Yeah. But even if it was Zangief, the proportions are really weird. It's just the chest is just enormous. He's so wide.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they're going for.
Drinking his milk, yeah.
People are saying he looks a lot more like Chris Redfield than Ryu.
Oh, yes, yes.
So yeah, maybe this is actually Marvel versus Capcom. But yeah, the trailer is it's Ryu and it's a guy called Luke, which I don't think you two don't really follow fighting games, right?
No.
Not too often. We were actually excited for the Riot one because you were going to teach us all how to.
Yeah, I'm going to teach everyone how to play.
Yeah.
In Street Fighter V, the very last character they've released is DLC. The final character, they've said this is it now, is a guy called Luke, and he looks.
Oh, I thought it was John Cena.
No, he's in the game, but you just can't see him.
Okay.
Let me Google Street Fighter Luke. He's a really
I
weird.
thought he was going to say, let me Google John Cena.
Let me Google John Cena real quick. It's this guy here. He looks a bit odd, but that's Luke in Street Fighter V. He's the other guy in the trailer, and he's hyper realistic and stuff, and hasn't got all these weird tattoos and Popeye arms.
What about his hair? Is that still that mess in the new trailer?
Yeah, so he's still got cheese string hair? Like,
Let me see. Street Fighter 6 Luke. There'll be a comparison image. Here we go. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah.
Oh, Street Fighter 5 Ryu was so good looking.
Oh, that's so that costume for Ryu in Street Fighter 5 was an alternate costume. It was called I think it was like Battle Ryu or something, and it was so popular. People were screaming like, "Why is this not just the new default?" Because it looks so good, and now it is in Street Fighter 6. Just mega wide.
Yeah.
I do like the new design for the Luke lad.
Yeah, so
Luke looks better.
So they said when they released this new character for Street Fighter 5 that they said he would tie in massively to Street Fighter 6, and that's all they said basically.
Okay.
And now the new trailer has him front and center. So there you go. That's
Okay.
that's. I would put the trailer up, but just these two images here is all you need to really see because that's all they show in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you like seeing big Ripley muscles, you might want to watch it. And like steam melting off of Ryu in an oddly sexual way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for Street Fighter 6. I always will be because I love Street Fighter so much.
Yeah.
You like all the. Is there any fighting games at Evo that you don't play or don't gel with?
I don't. So not so much that I don't gel with. I like all of them.
There's always like 8 games, right?
Yeah,
Evo?
there's certainly some that I haven't played. I haven't played Melty Blood, which is like an anime fighter that got really popular and is now at Evo and stuff. But every other ones I've played. I've dabbled in Tekken. I've dabbled in Guilty Gear, in Street Fighter.
Oh, actually, that's the point. If 2 slots have opened up, that means there's 2 slots for fighting games to take over.
100%. Yeah, it means there'll be more slots. Normally there's 8 games. I think it's like 8 or 9.
I think it's 8. Yeah.
I mean, if we look at what was the COVID year? 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Evo 2020 lineup. This is the lineup that was cancelled. Because they always have like a graphic, yeah. Is this the right one? Yeah, this was. No, there was one that had. This is the. Oh, it's 2020. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit blurry, but this was supposed to be 2020, and it didn't happen.
Where's Smash Brothers Classic Melee?
Maybe it was gone at this point. There was a year when they had both. Maybe it was the year before this. But they normally have like one game that's like legacy. So you got Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is quite an old game. Everyone was excited for it, and it never happened, which was a shame. But a lot of these games now are somewhat close to maybe being sunsetted. I don't know. Like Dragon Ball FighterZ is still really popular. But it's kind of it's kind of figured out at this point, I feel.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these, like Street Fighter 5 is still popular, but it's kind of figured out. You know what I mean? Like we do some
Well,
new stuff.
I mean, we've got the Power Rangers fighting game. We've got the Nickelodeon fighting game. We've got the upcoming Warner Brothers fighting game. They kind of like feel like the same niche as Smash Brothers, where it's like it's more fun.
The Power
So
Rangers
maybe-
fighting game is really good. It's
But yes, I
unironically
could see
amazing.
maybe one of those, maybe because like Smash Brothers, like the rest of the fighting games, all to me seem like sweaty fighting games, whereas Smash Brothers always seems like
Yeah.
the fun one. So I can imagine them trying to put like another like fun option instead of Smash Brothers to kind of keep that same dynamic.
Yeah, so Evo, I think it'll be good. I think there'll be a point where you'll blink and like a year or two will pass, and then half these games will be different. You'll have like Street Fighter 6, you'll have your Riot fighting game, and this, that, and the other. New tech.
Is there not Mortal Kombat is not there?
I think that might have been some controversy. I think Mortal Kombat. I think the new one's not as popular as the older ones.
Okay.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
But that's that news there. That's Street Fighter 6 basically. What else do I have here? Really quick one. Bethesda.net launcher being sunset and everything being moved to Steam.
Yeah, even your like, if you've got any currency on there, it will be migrated over to Steam.
Yeah.
I think you just need to make sure that your Steam and Bethesda accounts are linked, but most people's are.
This is nothing but good news as far as I'm concerned. Sunsetting stupid launchers that don't need to exist.
Yeah.
Because I've got a few things on the Bethesda launcher, and now just condensing it onto Steam is great. I think a lot of people... Did you have to get Fallout 76 on there first? When it first came out on PC?
I don't know. I never got that game.
Probably, or you just had to have it on there regardless, and
Yeah.
it'll boot up from there, even if you booted it from Steam.
Yeah, because I've got Doom Eternal on this weird launcher, and whenever I think about playing it, I'm like, yeah, I could check that game out again. I'm like, oh, it's on that stupid Bethesda launcher that I don't have installed anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think what's left, like Origin, EA Origin,
Uplay.
Yeah, Uplay could go. I'm not a fan of that.
BattleNet could probably go as well.
Uplay
At this point,
won't go anywhere. It's Ubisoft.
Yeah,
true.
It's Uplay Connect or whatever now, right?
Oh wait, yeah, it won't go
It
because
NFTs.
Steam banned NFTs
Yeah.
and Ubisoft still want to do NFTs.
Yeah, I haven't got that here as an official story. We can mention that really quickly. Steam has banned
No,
NFTs.
they already banned it.
They explained
banned
why.
it a while ago. They explained why,
Yeah.
saying it was mostly because it was like NFTs were mostly scams, and
Yeah.
apparently there's a lot of crypto that a lot of crypto games or something, I'm not sure, on Steam were like people hacking and they got like mass refunded and stuff or something like that.
Well, it's like
I'm not sure.
you can hide crypto miners in software, right?
Yeah.
So it's just if you allow that kind of shit to just be
It's-
allowed,
yeah,
it's
it's just-
like you download some cool indie game because it's cheap or it's free, and what you don't know is that your GPU is spiking in temperature because it's running at 100% capacity mining derp coin in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the news. Was Gabe just like did an interview and he explained why
Yeah.
NFTs weren't allowed on Steam.
Yeah, quite simply, the bad outweighed the good, so they got rid of it. But yeah, so this is the Bethesda net launcher getting sunset. What was the other one we just mentioned? Battle.net.
Yeah.
That'll go 100%. I feel like that'll go now that
That'll go to Xbox.
that'll all just merge.
The Xbox
Yeah,
app.
that'll merge into the Xbox One. I think the Battle.net user ID is already similar to the Microsoft one, where it's like your name followed by 4 digits. So that just
I could definitely see that.
that just
happening.
slots right in, right?
Maybe in a year or two. Yeah.
That'd be good, because if they merged it and said you can have a free name change on like Xbox, I can finally change my name. Because I went to change my name the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, we can do that for you. That's like £35."
Wow.
Or was it? No, it wasn't that much. It was an amount of money that I wasn't comfortable with. Because it's just like a name change. I'm not paying money for a name change. But yeah, so I'm waffling now, but they're sunsetting Bethesda.net launcher. Bethesda.net launcher.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you later. You won't be missed. I think this is one of the last ones I've got on my list is the Uncharted movie that we were making fun of. Actually made a shitload of money.
Yeah, and they're saying it's a new hit franchise.
Like, why?
No.
Why? Who's seeing this? And why?
Non gamers, I imagine.
Is it because of Tom Holland?
Maybe.
Because he's so popular in Spider-Man now. Do you think? Or
It might be the case.
Is there just nothing on at the cinema? I'm genuinely confused. I don't see what. Yeah, I don't see what drags people in.
This guy said it hit, but like, I don't think it made that profit because it cost fuck, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And also, like, this is one of those things where the first one is going to sour the second. This one made a lot of money because the promises of like the cast, right? In fact, Uncharted. Now people have watched it. Like, when Uncharted 2 comes out, people are going to be a lot more skeptical.
Yeah.
And a lot less hyped about it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's not a whole lot to say about it. I was just a bit confused. If it's anything like the games, the first game was it was good, but it wasn't amazing. And the second game was brilliant.
What I will say, though, is CEO, stuff, they're always be like, yeah, it's the next big thing. Like, they obviously have to speak hugely about it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just yeah. So that's that one basically. Did anyone else have any more news stories they wanted to talk about?
The only one of note was really like COD. There's a rumor going around. I think it's more than a rumor, but that COD 2023 has been delayed to 2024.
I heard about this. So COD 2020,
which will be the first time in like maybe a decade. I think that there'll be a year without a new COD because the last one was so not well received.
I think it was. I'm not sure if delayed. Makes it sound like it was having trouble and pushed back, right? Whereas
they're just giving it another year.
Yeah, it's not actually delayed, quote unquote. They're giving it more time, which is nothing but good, right? Give a game another year, and you can do so much.
COD is one of those games where there's 3 developers for it, and every year they every 3 years you'll get another one of the same developer, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, they rotate like devs around and give. I think each one normally gets about 2 or 3 years to make a game, and that's normally enough time to just crank out a Call of Duty quickly. Just that's that. What else do you need? Just other than even the campaigns are getting smaller and smaller these days, so it's normally just enough time to make up a slew of multiplayer content and some battle royale updates and a 3-hour long campaign. But yeah, maybe it's them adapting what they want to do. Now I guess that they might be on Game Pass, stuff like that. I don't know. There's no way of really knowing. What does it say here? Yeah. They do not intend to release a mainline Call of Duty title in 2023, instead opting to drop a free-to-play game as a replacement and releasing more Warfare 2 DLC.
Well, I think they probably feel safe to do this after the reception that Battlefield had. That they're like, oh, we don't need to keep up with Battlefield because Battlefield are gonna definitely take more time with the next one, so we can slow down a little bit as well.
Oh, we have no competition now.
Yeah.
Like Battlefield.
If COD knocks it out of the park with the next one and Battlefield doesn't, it pretty much cements. Like, a lot of people have already written Battlefield off after the shit show that was the last one. So if COD can really nail the next one, it pretty much makes them the king.
It's always.
I don't know if they have to worry though.
They probably don't have to, but if they do,
right?
it,
Yeah, COD is COD. End of the day, it'll make stupid money.
True.
It's funny. The discussions always are like, you have a genre of like FPS or whatever, and it's always like, oh, blah blah game is gonna kill blah blah game, X is going to kill Y,
Yeah.
X is the Halo killer, etc. But it's always like these games die because they kill themselves. They always have like a terrible release.
Yeah,
and
they
bleed.
charge him with the sword,
Yeah,
trip up and stab themselves.
and it's the same thing every time. It's like, what's going to be the Battlefield killer this year? It's like, it's just Battlefield. Battlefield kills itself.
Yeah.
It trips over itself and hurts itself in confusion.
Or maybe actually COD was like, oh, we've seen Battlefield. Okay, we'll make sure that this one's good. We don't want to flop.
Yeah,
But maybe they're like, it has a potential to flop. We'll take the time, listen to feedback, get what the gamers want.
yeah. Well, it's nothing. Like I say, in my opinion, it's nothing but good. I don't think there's anyone out there itching for a new Call of Duty game, right? Like there's...
No, we'll have Overwatch 2 to keep us busy.
Yeah. There's always enough content. They're just like I say. It says it even says like it's skipping 2023, but instead we've got all this other stuff. It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out of news. Have you got any more stuff?
No, other than like the next upcoming releases, I guess. But
Yeah. So what are you playing this week then?
Guild Wars 2.
What's that new expansion called?
End of Dragons.
End of Dragons.
I wonder
Yeah.
what you're doing in that expansion.
Well, I mean, it should be wrapping up like the main story of Guild Wars 2. And we're going back to Camphor, which is a zone from there was a whole expansion in Guild Wars 1 which was very Asian themed, and this is now going back to that land.
I can tell.
Are you sure? There's this Asian man here and a guy holding a techno samurai sword. Are you sure we're doing Asian theme again?
It looks. Yeah, I mean, it should be fun. They haven't marketed this game well, where to the point where there are trailers, but I haven't really seen them, so I don't know too much about going in.
If you didn't tell me about it, I wouldn't know it was coming out. Basically.
Yeah.
And I like to think
you speak about it every week, and I forget every week.
I like to think
no one else apparently cares.
I like to think I'm pretty in tune with game news, and this game has no advertising.
Yeah, they just have dropped the ball on the advertising, but I'm still excited for it. I think next week as well we've got Triangle Strategy coming out.
Yeah, Triangle Strategy is on Friday.
We've got Babylon's Fall, which I'm not.
Oh, that's the weird Platinum games.
That's the weird one, yeah.
That's the one that everyone's a bit like,
Will it be? Yeah, I've seen that.
Very lukewarm.
And Gran Turismo 7, which I don't think any of us really.
That's
That's
There's
not
the one thing that we don't really do here is racing games and sports games.
Yeah, I think it was funny watching Forza. That game looked fun, but again, that was more of a watch for me than it was a play.
Yeah,
I like how though we say we're not into racing games, but we're like Mario Kart's coming out in March.
That's an arcade racer. That's
Could
different.
not care less.
No, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's like you said with Forza Horizon 5, where Olive Meister, God rest his soul, played a whole bunch of it. And I watched it and I was like, this looks hilarious. This looks like loads of fun. And I downloaded it myself, all like 100+ gig of it, and got like 20 minutes in and was like, and I'm bored. And I'm finished. It's a racing game. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing Elden Ring. That's just what I'm going to be focusing on.
I'm going to be all aboard the Atelier train. I've got a big JRPG to get through.
Hell yeah.
So...
Will you be playing Triangle Strategy as well, or Sam? Because it seems like your type of game.
I will play it, but again, it's one of those things where I won't play multiple games at once. I will play the one I'm playing. I will finish it. I will start the next one.
We've hit a point now, I feel like, where besides Kirby and besides that really weird Final Fantasy Origins game, there's not a lot really coming out.
There's Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Didn't that come out?
I've seen some people. Apparently, it's coming out March 25th on all platforms.
I thought I had that already via PlayStation Plus. What did they give me for free?
I haven't played any of the Borderlands games, but I know that people who play Borderlands are like kind of really excited for this one.
What did they give me for free? Assault on Dragon Keep. Okay, that's different, isn't it?
I do not know.
It's Tiny Tina. That's all I know. I claim all these games and then never play them, as is you have to do with these things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let's. I guess we'll wrap this up then. Thank you for listening, everybody. Hope you've all had a nice time. Will hopefully be back next week if he's not busy. But
We'll go on an adventure to rescue him.
Yeah, or we've got to pay that ransom money. We need to pull together all of our funds, and this is why Sam's working so much.
Yeah,
He's trying to get all the money to get Will back. It's really expensive. Okay, where can we find you, Steve?
You can find me at Quikwix everywhere, but mostly Twitch. Yep, that's it.
Are you streaming much next week?
I should be. I'll be playing some more Dark Souls for sure.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, that'd be
Nice.
fun.
And where can we find you, Sam?
probably on Will's stream at some point. That'll be twitch.tv/Olivemeister.
Wow, that's so nice
There
of
it
you
is.
plugging other people
Yeah.
in your own spot.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
Gaming Freecast now.
Oh yeah, it doesn't make sense anymore. The pun is broken. I am in all the same usual spots. I'm BottlerWorks on Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. All these socials are all below the video. You can click them and find out. There's also a lovely link tree to find out where you can listen to this podcast everywhere else if you do prefer audio versions. But yeah, thank you for listening, everybody, and we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.